Well, as usual, One Piece breaks are always brutal to get through. And following Golden Week, getting an additional break, it has been what feels a long time coming just to get to this next chapter of One Piece, which is 1183, titled Good Morn-Maid. Now, there are so many different avenues that Oda can choose to go in this chapter. And if we know anything about him from the experience of being a avid reader of One Piece, you know he loves to cut away to different locations. So even though my most desired location to be in is with Emu and Loki, I don't believe Oda is going to stick with that. We may get glimpses of it, but he more than likely is going to continue to jump around. Obviously, at the end of last chapter, we've got the reveal of the rain god Zaza. So we have our whole group in West Village. Then we have Zoro. We have the potential matchups between Zoro and Sanji and Summers and Killingham. So we could stick with either of those characters in beginning their fights. Like I said, Emu and Loki is an option. That's the option I want, just because obviously it is at least in my opinion, it's the most hype fight that is occurring right now. And then on top of it, just having Emu on screen, he opens the door to so much additional knowledge and lore that it's just really hard to want to cut away to anything else. And that, maybe that's just my personal opinion, but we have Emu and Loki. Obviously, Luffy is still eating, got to recharge up, prepare for this battle that we are assuming we are going to get. We could also cut away to our other group of the Straw Hats, like Jinbei, Nami, Brook, and all of them, and see what's going on there. But honestly, there's a ton of different pathways for Oda to take right here, which means this chapter has a lot of interesting ways to go, and I am just dying to get into it. But before we get in, I see that we do have a really nice color page here. It says make a splash, and I'm seeing, our whole crew, the Straw Hats here. I love the color palette that Oda chose for this. It's very bright and pastel and very, very energetic. And I like the imagery as well. A lot of elephants around it. You can see the little tiny Sunny down below in the water. Of course, Zoro drinking, Sanji serving up stuff to the ladies, Robin's reading. Everybody's kind of like doing their own thing that we're used to. Brook's rocking out on his guitar. So beautiful color page, but let's get into this exploration. And I am seeing Emu. Yes, I'm seeing Emu and Loki here. Yes, I'm so excited. Like I said, I don't think we're going to stick with them. We got that one singular chapter that was just them the whole time. And that's a pretty rare occurrence for One Piece. So I just genuinely don't think we're going to get that again, at least in this chapter. I could be proven wrong, and I would be very happy if I was. So let's get started. Ragnar, thou wert waiting for one who could strike back against Mu. Isn't that right? Okay, obviously pulling on the past relationship string there, and Ragnar's just like squeak squeak, like he's I wish I could translate Ragnar, man. Is he talking crap right now back to Emu? Like, yeah, you better believe it. I want my get back for whatever happened in the past. But we need Chopper here. Chopper should be able to interpret Ragnar's squeaking. Loki here. I've never seen someone absorb so much damage, and he's huffing. Okay, so he's from his previous injuries all the way back from the beginning, from the God Knights, and then his fight, well, the beginning of the combat versus Emu. He's taken damage. He's tired. He didn't get to like fully refuel up. But the fact he's saying like he's never seen someone absorb so much damage, and that is extremely true. Emu took some serious blows from Ragnar and Loki, and he is relatively fine. He's got some like scuffs, and we did see him bleeding from his head the other chapter, but he seems to be totally fine. Loki, Straw Hat Luffy. In any case, thou wilt not be my soldiers. Couldn't use dummy or reversey on them. So I shalt eliminate thee instead. So he wants to eliminate the threat that is Luffy and Loki. Makes sense. Next page here. Just like Dozan? Who is Dozan? Who's Dozan? And what is he doing? So he's got his like staff weapon out in front of him, and we see the omen flame, and he's like putting it over top of the staff portion. And then we're seeing Loki, Huff, Ragnar duel, and we're seeing the clouds. Looks like 2 lightning bolts coming up from above. Oh, wait, before we get into this combat scene here that I'm seeing, which looks phenomenal, Dozan. So I don't believe that we've heard this name before. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I don't think we have. And what that leads me, my most obvious thought for who that character would be the warrior god, the previous user of the Nidhogg and Ragnar. So maybe like that to me would make sense, but maybe it is a completely unrelated character to that. I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on Dozan. But that's, at least for me right now, that's all I can think of is the previous warrior god. And I think it would tie in nicely, obviously, to the fact that we're fighting against that same devil fruit, the same power, the Nidhogg and Ragnar. And as Emu seems to be creating like this giant black flame, like his staff got much bigger. And Blade of Wrath Graham, and he's countering the 2 dual lightning strikes from Loki with this Blade of Wrath. Wow, that's crazy. First of all, the ability to block out these lightning strikes is crazy. Emu is just repeatedly reminding us as to why he is, at least in my opinion, the top of the verse right now. But this is interesting because we have Blade of Wrath Graham, and we had Blade of Judgment Nemesis 2 or 3 chapters ago. And this, to me, lends to what I had previously talked about with the connections to potentially like the black blades for Emu. And for me, this reinforces not that Nemesis was a black blade, but that it was a blade created out of his omen ability. Because now we have an additional blade that he is bringing out, and this one is Graham. And I don't think Emu has multiple black blades. I think it is something, because all of his omen abilities are that black color by nature. So I think that is obviously why it's black. It's not because it was turned black through what we're assuming is through hockey. We still don't actually know the process of how one turns their blade permanently black, but this seems to be more tied to Emu's omen ability and not a specifically crafted blade. And now we're cutting away. It's not very surprising. We're going back to the Western Village. I'm seeing Zaza here, the dream demon Zaza. Take back the children. So they're trying to rescue them. We're not letting them be taken away. Yeah, I mean, after all they did to get them back out of that situation with Summers and them falling off the cliff, it makes a ton of sense where it's like, you've already made it this far, you can't give up. Not that you would give up anyways, but Chopper here is trying to tell them all to, like, they shouldn't be moving around because of their injuries, like they haven't even finished their blood transfusions and they will die. And we have Ripley here. My life means nothing to me if my son is ripped from my hands. That is a fact. That is a bar right there. And if me being a parent and having a son, that now when I read any story and there's, or watch any movies or shows or anything, and there's the, like parent sib or parent child dynamic, it just, obviously from having a child, it strikes so deep into my soul now, because exactly what she's saying, my life doesn't mean anything if my son is, taken away from me. Like, it's like, I would happily lay down my life for him. So Ripley here, it's like, who cares? Like, what, it doesn't matter. And we see the dream demon Zaza, like, can direct the rainfall, because the giant next to Ripley gets it, like, Zaza like puts her hand out and it seems like a torrential downpour comes flying out of her hand and just completely crushes them. That's a crazy power. And Killingham here, only 7 of them. It'll have to do. Let's go, Zaza. Oh, here comes Sanji. Here comes Sanji. What's happening over there? Yes. No, no, we're cutting away again. Okay, before moving on, so yeah, if you're new here, I pause. I'm not just blitzing through the chapter. I pause. I want to talk about things as it unfolds and develops. So Sanji coming here, obviously we have the matchup set up between him and Killingham, but it's interesting here because it's Sanji. And Zaza, even though it's a dream demon, it's not a real person. It appears to be a woman. And Sanji, under no circumstance, will ever harm a woman. And we know that the best, like, destroying Zaza or destroying any of the dream demons doesn't really matter if Killingham is still operating. So there is a natural workaround here around Sanji not really having to fight Zaza because he can go after Killingham, but that would require someone else to basically distract Zaza so that she could not interfere with Sanji fighting Killingham. So maybe like Jinbei, get some Fishman karate out here to combat against the rain and the water. I mean, he's the most equipped and adept to deal with that. But looks like we're cutting away, so we're not even going to start to get this interaction yet. And we are cutting back to the section of the tree where Gunko's body is frozen from the Nibelheim, the flash freeze from Nibelheim, from Ragnar. And that's crazy. So I was curious a couple chapters ago when Emu like shot his omen bomb at the block of ice. We didn't get to see the after effects of that. And we found out, I think in that same chapter or the one before, that Loki stated that nobody besides Ragnar himself is capable of unfreezing this ice. And the fact that that is true, even a omen bomb attack from Emu is not capable of destroying this ice. That is insane. That's insane. Ragnar is so broken. This hammer squirrel, is genuinely insanely powerful. from a durability standpoint and an attack power standpoint, and now a hacks standpoint with their unbreakable ice, you genuinely, it's like that squirrel is like in the top 30. This is crazy. This is actually nuts. But we're seeing Gunko's body in there. Brook, why did you run off? To fight that woman? I had to jump in after you because it seemed like something was wrong. Oh, it's Usopp. Usopp is asking Brook why he like jumped in. Do you know her, Brook? Oh, are we? So we're actually gonna get some Princess Shuri, Brook, lore drop here, maybe. Was she some enemy you fought against in the past? Okay, he's saying not an enemy, but someone that he did not want to see. Or so I thought. I'm so confused right now. Yeah, I mean, as you would be. That was like forever ago. Like that was back when he wasn't even a pirate yet. So he was like young. And Brook is very, very old. So that would have been, I don't even know how long ago. Like Princess Shuri at that time, this is a long time. If it's really her, then she must be 77 years old right now. Exactly. Like it was so far in the past. And her being 77, she doesn't look 77 whatsoever. Nami. Yeah, she's thinking it's someone else. One, the age thing, and two, she's a celestial dragon, which Princess Shuri was not. Yes, at the time she was the princess of my homeland, and I lost contact with her when she traveled to sacred Marijoa. Wow, okay, so why though? Why did Emu? I'm assuming it was Emu that was interested in Shuri, but why? And Brook calls her the patricidal princess, meaning she killed the king, or at least assumed to have killed the king. But he is saying that she was the princess of his homeland, but he lost contact with her after she went to Marijoa. So had she not killed the king yet when he lost contact with her? I have a lot of questions, as I'm sure you guys did too. Frankie's running up. So he must have like checked that she's still frozen. He's like, I can't tell if she's alive or dead, but we can just leave her there, right? What I'm saying is she's a celestial dragon who looks exactly like someone you knew. Doesn't change the fact that she came here to attack Elbaf. Yes, but when we were tied up earlier, she was the one who undid the rope. And we're seeing when they escaped because Gunko Shuri had loosened up the arrows that were tied around them. Why would she do such a thing? Run, Brook. Exactly. She knows who he is. It's got to be the same person. How does she know who I am? And then she turned back into that demonic form again. Right. Her original personality, the personality that saved us, in her demonic form. He's like, it seems like we're seeing three different personalities. So there's Princess Shuri, there's Gunko, and then there was Emu in her body. So three different. Maybe that's the thing to do with the two different color eyes, to represent Shuri and Gunko as two separate people. I think it's possible that she's being controlled. It did not occur to me at first, but after seeing people turned into demons today, I must admit I feel deeply disturbed in my core. That's reasonable. We're just like chatting though, and there's there's still stuff going on. Like this is not the issue has not been resolved, especially after you just saw Emu show up, and we're just like sitting here just chatting. But I mean, we gotta like I guess figure out what the heck is going on. Jinbei here. I hate to rush you, Brook, but we need to decide. Yes, thank you, Jinbei. Thank you. Let's get everybody back on track. There are still things to be done. Does she live or die? We can't do anything before that's settled. This is interesting though, because one, I agree with Jinbei. Like, a decision needs to be made. We can't have an additional enemy basically come stab us from behind if we want to get rid of her. But he says that we need, like, does she live or die? But as long as she is encased in, they don't know this, but as long as she's encased in Ragnar's ice, she cannot break out. It's indestructible as far as we know. So she's good. It doesn't matter if she's an enemy or friend because she's stuck there. But they don't know that. But if they go to try, they're not going to be able to do anything. So I'm assuming the ice will get undone at some point. So I guess we are going to have to deal with this. But Jinbei's coming in to be the, he's older as well. He's kind of like a wiser person on the crew. More of a stern, like, let's stick to business here. So it's a good voice to kind of cut into all of this. A long time ago, truly a long time ago, she was just a child and I was a young man too. It was in a country that no longer exists. Oh, no longer exists. Asperia. It was a land of music full of workshops crafting instruments of all kinds. And we're going back 70 years ago, West Blue, 4 a.m. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. There's a lot. One, Jinbei just said, I hate to rush you, meaning we need to make a decision. And Brook said, yeah, hold that thought. I'm going to go into a long backstory here of what actually happened. So he's like, yeah, whatever, Jinbei. So anyway, 70 years ago, it's hilarious. 2, we're getting another flashback in Elbaf. That is we already had flashback Inception. This may be the most flashbacks we've ever received in a single arc. And 3, I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing, because obviously I want to figure out what happened with Brook, his early days, and I want to see obviously what happened with Shuri here. But I'm curious of the decision, because there's so much happening on Elbaf right now, and after coming out of the flashbacks, I was very excited to like stay in the current timeline and start like just moving the plot forward. And now we're cutting back again to another flashback. Then I don't know how long this flashback is going to be, but man, Oda's really loving his flashbacks right now. But that's it for me about the flashbacks. I'd love to hear from any of you guys what your thoughts are on getting another flashback in Elbaf. But we are back in West Blue. We're in the kingdom of Asperia. And we got somebody playing some music on a rooftop. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's singing. A good Morn-Maid. Okay, so that's where the title's coming from. The start of a brand new world. It's 4 a.m., Brook. What are you doing? Good morning, Asperia. No more waiting for favorable winds. It's time to set sail, baby. How you doing in the back streets? Shut up. I got a hangover. Got the dogs barking. Be quiet. Good morning, Brook. We see a little girl. Do we know that little girl? Is that maybe Shuri? She knows Brook, so maybe that is Shuri. What about the port? Hey, Arena. And you can see a zoomed out picture of the island, and it looks like a harp, like a harpsichord. So that's awesome. Nice touch. But they do also, stated before that the country no longer exists, and that just gives me Lelucia vibes. So what exactly happened to this country? Let's continue. Brook is just getting it at 4 a.m. Oh, here comes the dawn. That's a sick panel, though. He's up on the rooftop. We're seeing the rooftops of all the buildings, and then the sun is just crescenting over the horizon, and Brook is up in the air, rocking out. He's just singing. That's awesome. Okay, so some people are saying, shut up, Brook. Some people are like, Brook, my fave. Like, hope you get fired from the battle convoy. Oh, brother, get me a gun. Whoa, okay. Sleep is important. I agree. Sleep is very important, but dang, you are quite hostile, sir. This is the land of instrument makers, Asperia. Asperia Palace, the barracks. Come on, Captain, teach us how to do your quick draw techniques. Brook's quick draw techniques, he's got that famous swordsman style or swordsmanship. It's not fair that Princess Shuri gets all your attention. This is pathetic. What do you think I'm teaching you now? Learn the fundamentals before you dream. he's checking him. He's checking him, man. He's like, you don't get to learn the quick draw techniques when your fundamentals are trash. Like, that's building a castle on sand, or at least attempting to. You always got to start with the fundamentals, get those locked in, and then we can start talking about moving up. And looks like we got Brook singing through the garden. I see there's someone little next to him. I'm assuming it's going to be Shuri. Time to ship out Binks. Okay, we're getting some Binks sake here. And we got young Brook. Young Brook looking fresh. He's got the like royal like battle attire, looking very like old European like style here, kind of like Spain almost. Looks kind of like Spanish inspired. I'm loving it. I love seeing young Brook here. Kingdom of Asperia, leader of Raider Squad Battle Convoy. Brook, age 20, a young strapping Brook here. Dihihi, I worked hard today. You think I got any stronger? Just like Mama. Kingdom of Asperia Princess Shuri, age 7. Got any stronger? Just like Mama. Okay, so she's talking about her mom, not about her dad here. And apparently her mother is quite strong potentially. This is awesome to see young Brook here. And he just looks so happy. Turn the page. Yes, Her Majesty is very powerful. Queen Candel, light of my life. And he's got hearts in his eyes. The Queen, Brook, it's not good to fall in love with a married woman, Brook. Exactly. Like, come on. What do you mean? Love is free. He's pining after the Queen. Queen Candel. Like candle, I'm assuming. Who is this dude? Oh my God. Kingdom of Asperia King. Reuven. Reuven? That's how I'm going to say it. Reuven. This dude's pretty rough looking. Can't lie. I sentenced you to death for conspiracy. That's funny. Well, dude, Brook, what do you expect? Like, you're going after this dude's wife. That's his wife. That's his queen. What are you doing? You're conspiring to take his place beside his woman. This dude's pretty ugly though. And if Brook likes the mom is probably, the queen she's probably very pretty. Too harsh, please, boss. I mean, Your Majesty. Papa, you were plotting to kill me, weren't you? He's asking. Of course not. Don't even suggest it. I'll wait until death takes you. So he's like, no, don't worry. I'm not gonna try to kill you to take her. I'll just wait till you're dead and then I'm gonna swoop in. So Brook is officially a man on deck. He's waiting. He must really like that woman. Come on, Brook, forget about Mama. When I grow up, I'll marry you instead. Oh no. No, sure, you're supposed to say goofy stuff like that to me and melt my heart at the king. He's like, no, you're my little girl. You're supposed to say that about me. Oh, no, thanks. Brooke's like, no. I'd prefer a wife without the runny nose. Oh, she does have a little runny nose. this is cute. It's cute because it's like, yeah, it's like a little kid. This is cute. What, you picky oaf? How dare you turn down my daughter in front of me? What, bro? She's a kid. But he's being the doting dad. Like, it's once from one point of view, he's like, well, why is she not saying it to me? But don't you dare, turn her down. Don't say no to my daughter. And he goes for like a kick, and Brook just like straight, whoop, just Neo dodges it. I'm nothing if not faithful. Oh, faithful to the queen. Sure is dying laughing. She's a little jovial little kid. I hate to interrupt the fun, Your Majesty. There's a gang on horseback riding through the city from the port. Oh, okay, so we're gonna get some fodders for Brook to like flex on. I'm assuming, hoping, maybe. Love that. It's such a like anime and manga trope, but you always got to bring in the fodder to let your characters that you're focused on. You got to let them flex. Got to let them flex those muscles a little bit. Some of the battle convoys in town, but they're outnumbered. We've sent more from the castle, but I don't think they'll make it in time. What are they after? What are they after? They're after the queen. She's enjoying an opera in town. The Mulan family? Like Moulin Rouge? Is that supposed to be like the connection here? Because, you know, everything's about instruments and music and, you know, the Moulin Rouge, famous. They've been after Candel for years. When did they land at my port? Send word to Candel not to leave the opera house. Well, but Shuri says she's strong. So, like, maybe Brook isn't going to be the one flexing, but maybe Candel is going to be the one to, you know, get out of there and just destroy them. That's funny. There's a silent mode on Den Mushi's, and while the show of the opera is going on, they keep him on silent. That's a cool touch. You don't want to interrupt the performance. Performances are sacred. Do something, Brook. They're going to kidnap Mama. The Moulin Rouge, the Moulin Rogues, Moulin Rouge. I was right. That's so awesome. That's such a cool, like, little connection there that Oda did. But he's saying rogues, Moulin Rogues. Why, that's odd. I saw them in the port earlier. So he already ran into them earlier, and he's like, Theater Street. Here they come on their horse. It's the horseback gang. Opera House. Oh, we're seeing a beautiful performance and clapping going on. So the performance is done. We're seeing what looks to be the queen. Maybe it's a beautiful looking woman. They're all yelling at her to come on out. They got permission from Don Mulan. If you don't, they're going to settle it. You're going to be the Don's woman once and for all. Gosh, everyone's after her. They're popping. Looks like they shot a guy, like part of the battle convoy of the royal forces here. Help, Brook. It's going to be fine, boss. For one thing, she's very strong. Exactly. They can't take her away. That's what I was saying. They said she's strong. Plus, well, I'm rather stunned. They haven't noticed yet. You see, by the time they left the port. Wait a second. Okay, before I turn the page. He says he's rather stunned they haven't noticed yet. So did he already cut them? because that's what he does. He's like, they haven't, you haven't noticed. You've already been sliced, or like you've already been cut. It's what Brook does. It's like his 3-pace humming, like it's his sword technique that they talked about, the quick draw. Like he cuts people so quick that they don't even realize that they've been cut yet. So by the time they left the port, I'd already cut them all. Yes, yes, yes. And we're seeing them slice, like literally just out of nowhere sliced. That is crazy. That is, yeah, his 3-pace hum notch slash. That's, I loved that. I loved the way he just so casually. I still don't understand how that works. This is like that suspension of disbelief, manga anime thing where like, yes, I cut you. This is a long time though. He says that he ran into them earlier today. Like it hasn't just been a couple minutes. It's been quite a long time, it would seem. And he, like, suspension of disbelief, but you're seeing the slice cut through a gun, through guns, like a delayed. That's crazy. I don't. This is awesome though. Brook's got aura, dude. Young Brook, 20-year-old Brook. He's got it. Oh wait, is this one of those they were already cut things? Yeah, then it was Captain Brook's quick draw. 3-pace hum notch slash. That's awesome. Even the people of the country know about it. Look, there's Her Majesty. What a beauty. Of course, she's going to be just top tier. 70 years ago, the kingdom of Asperia harbored 2 great stars. One, the former captain of the battle convoy and current queen, Candel. And we're seeing her in all her glory. She looks awesome. She looks sweet. Like very regal, beautiful. Her hair is a very cool like texture and shape. And you can see she has the little like up swoopy hair in the front, just like Shuri does. So obviously it's her daughter. The other, an unpopular musician, so it's probably because he plays at 4 a.m. Who does that? But he's master of the quick draw sword technique that left its victims unaware they'd been slashed. The leader of the Raider Squad, Humming Brook. Dude, Humming Brook. In this era, the kingdom was at peace. Chapter end. That was a good chapter. So that is the end of the exploration. I'm just going to get into some pretty short post-chapter thoughts here. So starting from the beginning of the chapter, we obviously got a little bit more from Emu and Loki. Just a bit of a clash. We got to see a new move from both Loki and Emu. We got the Ragna Dualheim, so the 2 lightning bolts, and then the Blade of Wrath Graham, from Emu. And then we got a name drop of Dozan as well. So we have an additional character from the past that is obviously deceased because Emu's saying he's going to eliminate Loki and Luffy just the same as Dozan. So my assumption is it's the previous warrior god, but like I said, let me know down below what you guys are thinking of maybe other potentials that I'm not seeing. And then we have the Blade of Wrath Graham. So again, I think all of the blades or anything created out of his black flames has to do with his omen ability and is not something like each individual are black blades. Then we got to see the Western Village. Obviously, Sanji's coming in. We got the parents standing up to try to obviously fight to regain their children. But we're going to need a hero here. And Sanji, our valiant knight, is coming in. But I have this is just a general thought for both Sanji and Zoro. I think even though they got pretty significant power-ups, actually very significant power-ups in Wano, I think it's time again, honestly, for them to get another jump up. because now, since we're segueing finally into the final saga of One Piece, these are going to be the two wings of the Pirate King. And from what we've seen from Rayleigh and Gabon from Scopper, we need another jump for both Zoro and Sanji. And obviously, one of the biggest unlocks for Zoro specifically has to do with the utilization of his Conqueror's Haki. So it's some advanced Conqueror's Haki usage. He wasn't even aware of that he had it. So that is most likely Zoro's next jump up. And to fight the God Knights specifically, it's almost a prerequisite that you have Conqueror's Haki if you want to negate their regeneration, so that you can then get to their steel heart, which I'm assuming once it's destroyed, you have actually killed them. But it seems like you cannot slow down their regeneration at all without Conqueror's Haki. And that's where it comes to Sanji. I don't know what it is. Because we like to make the assumption that he's going to get it because we have Scopper who has it, who was the number, he was the other wing for Roger. Rayleigh had it, and then Scopper had it as well. And especially the fact of who we're combating against, it almost seems necessary. And we didn't actually get to see when Sanji asked Scopper if he had it. We didn't actually get to see a response. We just saw Sanji's kind of like reaction in that little tiny panel, but we never got an answer from Scopper. And right now they're both injured. Especially, it seems like Sanji is even more injured because the attack he took seemed to be much more substantial than the attack Zoro took. So I don't know what's in store for Sanji. Like, is it Conqueror's Haki unlock? Does he unlock a totally different type of like fire ability? I don't really know, but I think that we do need another jump, especially once we get off. We're gonna resolve whatever's going on here on Elbaf. It's not, the Straw Hats aren't gonna lose or die. So leaving this island seems to me we're at the point of the story where we have to leave this island basically being near our peak, to then be able to actually combat what is required going forward between Blackbeard, between Shanks, between Emu and the God Knights. We have all of these things. It feels to me like we have to ascend once more. But that's my little spiel on Zoro and Sanji. Then we cut to the Gunko section. Seeing Gunko, we got a massive Ragnar upscale on just the hacks of his ice abilities. Insane. Ragnar is crazy strong. And Loki is able to obviously utilize that. So Loki himself has just been so impressive. And we're not even get to see him fighting in his prime form, because he was already injured since we even got to see him do anything. And he's still putting up a fight against Emu, Loki is crazy. We're talking, like, he's already incredibly high when it comes to the top 30, and all time, our boy Loki, he might be way up there. That's crazy by the end of the series too. We get into our Brook section here where they're just trying to figure out what's going on with Gunko, with Shuri, and Brook then obviously traverses into a flashback of going back to Asperia. We get to see Brook in all his youthful glory and the relationships he had with the people around him. And also Queen Candel, and the fact that Asperia was a peaceful kingdom, but it does not exist anymore. And we know that Shuri is called the patricidal princess, meaning at some point she may have killed her father. But we also, from Brook, hear that he lost contact with her once she went to Marijua. So there's obviously some nefarious things going on. Emu is most definitely involved, but I am a big fan of this chapter. I am still, even though this was very good and I am super interested in this Brook flashback, I am a little, you know, I'm split on seeing another flashback right now, especially with what we have going on currently in Elbaf. But I'm assuming Oda decided to cut away to this flashback because it will have significant relevance to what is going to occur on Elbaf and leading to the conclusion of this arc. So I'm going to trust the process. Oda is, we got to let him cook. So that is it for me in the exploration. I would love to hear what you guys thought about this chapter, anything that kind of stuck out to you. If you've made it this far in the video, you are a true soldier, and I greatly appreciate you for being here. So I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you're at, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.